Hey guys, what's going on? Got another Enhancement Shaman arena video, and for this one we got a different type of build, not enhancement side but utility side. As you can see on my bar, I got Capacitor totem. So for this comp we are playing Enhance Unholy DK with a Holy Paladin, and we didn't really have much of a win condition until I thought of Cap Totem, and as you can see we're playing kind of like TSG, and if you don't know what that is Warrior DK, where the DK grips in and then they shockwave and burn them down pretty quick. It's kind of the same playstyle. Maybe Walking Dead might be more familiar with you with Windwalker DK. It's the same thing. Bring them all in, stun them, and cleave them down. But yeah, so for this, the talent build will be in the description. I have dropped Purge for Capacitor Totem with its double effect, where after it either dies or goes off, it summons a second one to go off within 0.5 seconds of the stun disappearing or whatever. It's quite useful, as you'll see later on. But here we are fighting a comp called Cupid, which is Survival Hunter, Rep Pally, and Disc Priest. As you can see, we just got Turtle. We got a nice blind into a double cap totem right there. We start pressuring the Paladin. He gets a bubble right there. And then we're back on the Hunter. I get a nice Hex on the Discipline Priest. There's the Lay on Hands, so they're completely out of everything now. There's the Life Swap. They have nothing left. There's Penance. Plum gets a nice kick on it with his pet. And we're just about to bring down the Hunter. And there he goes. So with this build and this comp, it definitely helps having that stun, because that is your win condition. And we did a few games without it, and then I thought, well, let's just switch, and it's been working great. But as you can see here, we don't really get a triple anything here, so this setup was kind of scuffed, but I still dropped Cap Totem anyways, just to kind of see what happens. But here we're fighting Destro Lock, Windwalker, Holy Paladin. Our main focus is going to be the Warlock. We want to shut him down as much as possible. Also, if you are fighting a Warlock, they're most likely running that Observer talent, where it flies into the sky. There needs to be a change with that, because it's completely out of melee range, and sometimes it flies even higher than what it's supposed to, and you have to cast or whatever, and sometimes you just can't do anything about it, and it's kind of dumb, but whatever. Anyways, we're on the, as you can see there, it's flying in the sky and it's hitting us every time we use a spell, and it's ridiculous. But anyways, here I get a nice grip, pull them all in. The Warlock, or the Monk, gets a nice leg sweep there. And I was able to get Capacitor Totem, which got the Paladin. Plum gets a nice blind on the Pally and grips him in. There's a full DR Asphyxiate, but Shook comes in with a nice blind. The Warlock right here is free casting because he used Undying Resolve, but it's not stopping us with damage. So this comp that we're playing right now is super disruptive, and it's really fun. I think it's the most fun and probably the best version for Enhance right now. I'm not sure. There's probably better ones, but this is the one that really feels like we're making a real dent in everybody and causing issues for them too. So there's the last bop for the Warlock. Unfortunately, I don't have perch, so I can't get it off. But it is what it is. There I gripped them all in. Get a nice Cap Totem right there. The Monk is going to leg sweep right here, but since the second Cap Totem, it kind of stuns them. Even though it is DR'd, it's still super useful. Plum gets a nice triple blind. Shuck runs in for a quick Hodge on the Paladin. It was fully DR'd, but that's okay. And here, the Pally wanted to cast. I saw that coming, and I kicked it. I didn't kick his first cast, but I got the second one, which felt more important. But on to the next match. This one we absolutely crushed. It's very unfortunate for them, but Plum got a nice double blind there. I set up with the triple stun. We are fully committed onto this Boomkin. There's the link, and we're still hitting the Boomkin full power. There's really no damage coming from them. The Shaman does pull Plum away, but he didn't really care. He grips him over. There was a Psy Fiend on me, but I felt there's really no damage going out right now. might as well just go for the kill. And we ended up taking him out. So it didn't seem like they were prepared for that whole opener, but works out in our favor. So here we got another version of Cupid where it's Beastmaster Ret Pally. Here we kind of want to hit the hunter as much as we can, but chasing him around is also kind of pointless because they have a paladin on their side, which is going to allow him to move freely across everywhere. But as you can see, I'm also running Counter-Strike, which is doing a tremendous amount of damage on both the Ret Pally and the Hunter. Although the Hunter's damage is mostly towards his pet, the Ret Pally is just trucking himself with his own damage, which is great. So here, the Pally runs in for a Hodge, kind of overextending. Plum runs after the Hunter, pushing him back. I go for a Hex on the Priest, but he ends up fading it. Fading? I think it's Fade. It misses. But here we switch back to the Paladin. We know he doesn't have a bubble because he just used it in the opener. Here they start wailing on me, getting a huge amount of damage, so I'm healing as much as I can. Drop another Counter-Strike. Rip the Priest in onto the Paladin. Get a double stun here. Start wailing on the Pally as much as possible. Plum sitting on the Hunter just to kind of split pressure a little bit. Gets a nice blind. There's the trinket from the Priest. We're still on the Paladin because there's no way in heck I'm touching a Hunter right now. And we're just able to take him out. Plum gets a nice kick on the Discipline Priest. So it's super, super good this match. You don't want to chase the Hunter, mainly because, as you can see, he's got disengage. On top of that, the Paladin's just going to freedom him, so I just find it best to hit the Ret Pally and then hit whatever you can. Here we're fighting Windwalker DK, also known as Walking Dead. So Plum gets a nice triple blind here. The DK IBFs and AMS so he can avoid my Cap Totem. But for whatever reason, they seem to be focused on Shook, so he just goes ahead and sends Bubble. The Priest went for the Mass Dispel, but ended up missing entirely. I don't think he even casted it off, but works in our favor. We're going to be focused on the DK, and the reason why is DKs are super vulnerable for the most part. I find them much easier to kill than going after a Windwalker monk, because those guys are super slippery, meaning they have a lot of disengage, they have their port, they have rolls and such like that. They also have a bit more better defensives in a sense. So there I went for a Hex on the Priest just to kind of annoy him, making sure he knows he's in range. But here we're getting so much damage. There's the last pain suppression, so I grip those two onto the Priest, drop Cap Totem, get a nice double stun on them, and then the other stun is full on the Priest, allowing us to get even more damage, which was nice. I'm using Counter-Strike again because it's double melee. Priest goes for a Penance cast. Both myself and Plum went for the interrupt, so we kind of overlapped there, unfortunately, but he gets a nice pet kick, and then I go for the Hex, and the Priest is still able to keep this DK alive, which is very impressive, kind of insane. The monk comes back. I'm not sure why he went on Shook, but here we're just able to bring down the DK. I'm not sure why the monk swapped to Shook. It was kind of weird. He should have stayed on top of us, although it does kind of help in a sense to split, but not quite sure what he was thinking there. He doesn't have bubble, but I don't think there's a whole point to getting on Shook by splitting and leaving your DK. But onto the last match, we got Boomkin Havoc Demon Hunter. This was a really weird ending, as you will see, but here we kind of run in. The Priest instantly pops Redemption and Divine Hymn, which was, I don't really understand why. The Boomkin's also really far back, so we're just pulling back. You know, Demon Hunter's way over there. We pull those two forward because they wanted to be there. And I drop Cap Totem. Plum gets a nice grip, getting that triple stun. There's the second stun right there. That's why it's so good. I like it. But here we don't let anybody leave. Drop the Counter-Strike. I just feel against Moonkins, there's no point to really running grounding other than to grab clones. Obviously, it's super, super helpful. But I just felt, let's try Counter-Strike and see if it feels better. But here I get fully cloned, so I just sit it. Plum backs off just to kind of give a break. I get feared, and they haven't swapped me, but they do now. So I'm taking a bit of damage. He pushes me back. Plum gets a nice grip back. And then we're focusing the Boomkin because we don't want him doing all the damage. So I sit back a little bit. I canceled the Hex because I saw Shook go in for the Hodge. So I just didn't feel like there was a point. There I dropped Cage Totem. I get a 1 stun, but we had precog on the Boomkin, so he ate the second one. And here is where the weird part came up. We're just wailing on him. I get DR cloned, which is perfectly fine. We're just beating on this Boomkin because this is what we want to take down. And here's the weird part. The priest runs up and jumps off the edge and leaves his Boomkin alone. And then he dies. I don't really know what he was thinking there. I don't know if it was a mistake jump, but yeah. That is it for the video. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully this helped in any way. And I will see you in the next one. Laters.